Now, there's some keys to redemptive destiny, and trust me, I'm going to get to these scriptures and we're going to walk through them. Keys to redemptive destiny for those that choose to overcome all this negative stuff. Number one, God is faithful to his promise. People say, well, he's the 11:59 God. That's too early. For me, he's been the 12:15 God many times. At least on my clock. But he's faithful to his promise. In every case of the barren womb, God did what he said he would. Even when the people involved had failed miserably, God did what he said he would. Because he's faithful, even when we're not. He's faithful when we've given up. When we falter and don't believe, he's faithful. And we need to know that and stand on it. And if you're one of those who's tired of being defeated, then get pissed off. Find some fight. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to take offense at me saying pissed off. I don't care. Because there's some words that just don't carry enough force, okay? So there it is. Faithfulness. Here's the second key. Faithfulness. Don't let go. The one thing that qualified these women in the Bible was that although they did stupid things, they did all those other things in the list, they never bailed out on God. And because they didn't give up on God and they didn't let go, even though they made mistakes, they were in position to receive the blessing when the blessing came. That's one of the functions of faithfulness, is that when the blessing comes, you're in position to receive. You ever seen one of those contests where you have to be present? You got to be present to receive the prize, or they give it to somebody else. That's faithfulness. That's what faithfulness does. I know people who have bailed out and they've stayed away, and then one day they hear there was a mighty visitation going on, and everything God said would come to pass is happening, but they're not there to receive it because they were having a mood someplace, or they gave up. They weren't in position because they weren't faithful to push through when the waiting was painful and when the waiting seemed to go on too long. Here's the third key: desperate and consistent prayer. And I'll add, in humility. Desperate, consistent prayer and humility. Extended barrenness will humble you. It'll break your heart. It'll drive the fleshly ambition out the door. It writes deeply into you the truth that apart from Jesus, you can do nothing. And it makes you desperate for God. And so you cry out for God to bring the promise to pass. So here it all is in the stories. Now we're going to Scripture.